Welcome to this week's episode of the Relly and Deli podcast. I'm Relly.
And I'm Deli. And today we are discussing the indie horror film, Good Boy. Yeah. So, I do want to start with a little description here. So, the description for Good Boy. A loyal dog moves to a rural family home with his owner, only to discover supernatural forces lurking in the shadows. As dark entities threaten his human companion, the brave pup must fight to protect the one he loves most. Oh, yeah. So, yes, this movie is a very unique film in itself, just because it's the first horror movie from the point of view of a dog.
Yeah.
So you see in that description that, like, hey, the dog is doing this, the dog is doing that, you know. So yeah.
Yeah. I was very excited when I heard about the film. I heard about it in passing too.
Yeah.
But I was super excited, you know. You see certain things, well, you know, it's a very popular trope of like animals freaking out when spooky shit is going on. Absolutely. Animals and kids always keyed in. They know what's going on. You gotta listen to the babies and you gotta follow the animals.
Exactly.
Right? We watched that one horror film in like the woods with the fairies and all that type of stuff. And Watchers.
Oh wow.
Watchers. That's crazy. Spoiler
that's
alert.
crazy.
But yeah, you know, you see animals fleeing or going a certain way or they're afraid of something, sweetie, you gotta go with the livestock. You gotta follow the animals. So it was very interesting. And then that comedy film, Strays, touched very so slightly, right? That it's like from the vantage points of the dogs. Of course, it's a comedy and the dogs can talk.
Right.
And we see like this dog at a carnival with his owner and he's having like this rom-com moment and then it like switches and he's like, no one knows that he's like a Creekside killer or whatever.
Exactly.
He's a serial killer.
He has several bodies buried in his lawn. And this was like a side character dog too. Like you have your
literally
main cast
less
of
than
dogs,
a minute.
but there was like this random side character dog they met at a carnival who for some reason feels the need to act as a narrator of his own life. And those around him. But yeah, his owner was like this killer.
Yeah. So seeing an animal in this horror context, I was very excited to see what they were going to do and how they were going to pull this off.
Yeah. Me too. I was very excited. And again, I heard about it the same way. I very like fly by night just post, I think, on Facebook somewhere. It was like, oh wow. You know, I didn't know if it was ever going to see the light of day because I feel like I heard about it so far back from when it actually was released, but that's the nature of indie projects. You know, you might run into something, you take a little longer to get out, but I'm happy that they were able to, you know, see this through and get this going. This movie was directed by Ben Leonberg, and it was written by Ben Leonberg and Alex Cannon. They have credits to their name, but I took a quick look and it wasn't anything that we had seen, so I can't really point and be like, hey, this.
Right. Maybe we'll check them out after this.
Absolutely. I'm very interested to see other stuff that they've done, directed and written, as well as other things that the cast has been in. Again, this is the POV of the dog, so you don't really see a lot of the cast, but they all have credits to their name as well. Yeah,
which honestly was one of the best things about the film. So let me just say, this is your official, of course, spoiler alert. And while we review these films, as you know, as we typically do, we're going to get into the nitty-gritty, walk through the film, and then at the end, we're going to rate it and dissect it based off of the four main categories, acting and dialogue being one, sound design being the second, cinematography being third, and then fourth being the story. Okay?
Okay. Spoiler alert.
We'll put that in post. We'll put that in post.
Oh no, cut that out. But so we pick up. We start the movie at a crazy point, actually.
Yeah.
Because there's Indy the dog, just sitting there with his owner, Todd, and the Todd is sleeping. Not the Todd. Todd is sleeping, and Indy is just laying there next to him on the couch, and he keeps looking in the corner, keeps growling, looking at the corner, and the phone is ringing. It's a lot going on. And then Todd just starts to like convulse.
Yeah, his nose starts to drip blood. Yeah. And you know, the dog, first of all, is a very adorable dog.
Yes,
I'm not a big animal person,
yeah.
but very cute dog, perfect
Very
dog
cute
for
dog.
this.
Yeah.
And as the film goes, like you quickly realize you don't see the face of anyone. And I thought that was so good. Also, the conversation that you're having, it's all happening in the room around Indy, the dog. But because he's a dog, they're like talking. The sister comes home and finds the brother. And this conversation is happening. And like you're struggling to hear what's going on and what's being said. But at the same time, you're really watching Indy because Indy sees something in the corner.
Exactly.
And he's like, this is some shit.
Absolutely. And I think it is very smart. You know, and something you mentioned, you never really see too much of anyone's face. Because as a dog at like ankle, maybe knee level, you wouldn't be seeing a lot of faces.
Correct.
You would be seeing a lot of, you know, the lower levels of things. And then also, you know, as a dog, you're focused on other stuff. You're not focused on conversations. Of course, you could understand some commands and some things, but you know, you're not. Yeah, you have to really listen for the conversations, and that's where the fun lies, I do believe.
Yeah.
Quick note on sister girl.
Yeah.
I do feel like she was underreacting to him just bleeding and convulsing. I was like, wow. That's like, I mean, but you know, maybe she's used to it. I don't know.
Maybe. I mean, I don't know. I didn't notate it. I was really just caught up with the shadow in the corner and the little pooch. Like, what's going on?
Indy is adorable.
Yeah, but the sister, I don't know, because I mean, she does have like growing concern as the film goes on.
Absolutely.
One of the things I loved is that like the story then kind of shows the life and the history of Indy and his owner.
Yeah.
Through like home video.
And I was gonna say, oh, they did such a good casting, but that probably learning what we learned in the post credit.
Yeah.
It probably was just actual footage.
Exactly. Exactly. So yeah, Indy is the actual dog of the main character, who's also the creator of the film. So
I think the director is different from the person playing the main character. Because the person playing the main character, Todd, is Shane Jensen.
Oh.
And the director is someone else.
I thought that
Ben Leonberg, you know, I think he's just maybe a friend or...
Oh, so he was just familiar.
Because he did mention that he was like, the connection is real because he's really my dog. But I guess because maybe he's working him behind the camera.
Right.
You know, we have to look deeper into that. But
okay. Well, the chemistry was there.
The chemistry was there. And Indy's a great dog. Yeah, the
footage was really good. And in the footage, you see the moment where he first gets sick in the park. The owner.
Yeah.
Like in that footage, which... You know, I have a love-hate relationship. I hate found footage. Found footage is the worst.
Actually, you hate found footage. I don't hate found footage for the
me.
I'm just saying that I said to that. Yeah. I said to that.
Jarrell hates found footage. Not my government. But I don't like it. I don't enjoy it. And if you're gonna do it in a way. I do appreciate like if you're gonna use like home video, because found footage and home videos aren't necessarily the same thing, right? But they're often used in like a similar vein of like it can be used to like push the story and give us background and like context and all that type of stuff. But making a whole film that's just based on that is very difficult to do, and it has to be done skillfully. But they use it in a very great way to give us more history, and we could see how he devolved in his health. Yeah.
Yeah. So the emergency, the EMTs, everybody makes it there in time because he ends up in going to the hospital and everything and getting that taken care of. All that, we don't see any of that because again, we're from the POV of Indy, the dog. So next time we see him, he's coming out of the hospital.
Yeah.
And the sister, whose name is Vera. Okay, Vera.
Sure.
Right. Vera is with Indy and then they reunite and everything. Yeah. Now, I will say this. I felt like the beginning, for me, the beginning actually felt like it was the end just shown first. At first, before I caught myself.
Oh.
I thought that was how it was going to end.
Thought, right. It was
and then
flashing.
they took us back.
Right.
But yeah, so it took me a little minute to realize that. But then, slowly but surely.
Yeah.
So, Todd's response to all this is to go move into his grandpa's house.
Todd is a fucking idiot.
I wouldn't say he's an idiot, but I don't understand his motivation there.
Oh, the motivation is okay. So,
or I forget his motivation.
We have this looming shadow specter, right?
Right.
When they're pulling up to the house, it's out there on a dark road. First of all, if I'm ever, for whatever reason, going to uproot myself and move to an abandoned old house in the woods, I'm not going to do that in the dead of night, babes. Yeah. We're going to do that 6 o'clock in the morning so we get there at around 10 and we have all day to piss around and see all the ghosts and the foolery up front.
It was given impulse.
It is.
It was also given, he makes a lot of bad decisions.
1 million%.
And it was also given, ne'er-do-well, possible drug addict,
1,000,000%.
Before we realize that he's sick.
Well, so the sister texted him. The phone was on the car. So it's one of those movies that you have to actively watch.
You do.
The dialogue is really not for us. And that's one of the hardest things that I have to rate.
Is it for us?
I mean, I guess it's for us, but at the same time, it's not for Indy, right? Indy is for us. Indy's the main character. So you have to actively watch and listen for the dialogue that's happening on the side, looking at the text messages that popped up on the phone in those brief moments to really figure out some of this stuff, while trying not to miss Indy and what's happening and what's going on.
Yeah.
And she texted him is it back? So at that point, that's when I first started to think oh, this is a sickness.
Yeah.
Right? Something that was there. Because at first I was oh, you're haunted, obviously.
Yeah.
We saw a shadow.
Yeah.
The lead was not buried.
Right.
You're haunted, sir.
Yeah.
Now, is the entire film really a commentary? A lot of those things use possessions and sickness and showing the parallels between the two. You know what I mean? Is this 100% about that? Maybe. In a way.
I had it in my notes. This could be incarnation of cancer, because dogs can smell cancer.
Right.
This is what they see.
Exactly. And I think that's what it was, because it definitely was in his brain. Because he was having troubles with his head, the nosebleeds and everything.
Yeah, the sleepwalking.
And the sister, that was the thing. Throughout the film, the sister even comes up and is is he not trying to leave your side? Maybe he can smell sickness in you or something. But I think that was successful in that regard. But I think the only thing that makes sense is when something so horrible happens to you, a lot of the times people respond to it with trying to regain control, and they do it impulsively and extremely.
Oh, okay.
Baseline, I'm going to shave my head bald. I'm going to do something.
Shave my head bald, move to my granddad's abandoned
house
up
and move
in the middle of the country.
And don't tell my sister, leave my place, and do all that type of stuff. And it has to be now. Okay? And this is going to come up in another review we're about to do.
It's very much that.
But, people, when you don't have control, when a certain amount of control is taken from you, you try to claw it back in any ways that you can, and it can be very dangerous.
That is so fitting for this and that.
Correct.
Y'all are tuning in that one soon. But yeah,
very soon.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy that both of these movies have that thread, and it's very much that. And that explains why, they make these rash decisions in the dead of night, pouring rain.
Child.
He's like, I gotta do it. So I hadn't really thought about it. I understood like the desperation and the immediate need, but you nailed it by, things have been out of your control for so long that you have to do this. This is the motivation. So,
Yeah.
very good. But yeah, I definitely thought about the incarnation of cancer. This is what they all see when they're sniffing out their cancer. You see it skulking around. There's certain other things that happen that are like, well, maybe that's not that. But we'll see. Let's see. So yeah, they're at the old house, and spookery starts pretty immediately.
Oh yeah, they pull up. When he pulls up, he has to get out. There's a gate, but it's not automated, so he has to get out of the car in the rain to open it up. Indy looks out the rear view glass and sees like a shadowy figure and a form
looming.
He gets back in the car, pulls the car in through the gate, and then he was like, "All right, like get out." Indy refuses. I promise. There's two things I hate. If we ever have a kid or a pet, that's one category, that are like saying some spooky shit or reacting like danger. Over there is danger. If I ever ignore them, may God strike me down immediately and save me from the torment. Because there's no way. That dog did not want to get out of there.
At all. Did not want to go in there.
And then the second thing is, I hate a horror husband. Just an ignorant, wide-foot bastard with a tormented wife and nothing in his heart except for disbelief and skepticism. Yeah. I cannot. Like, if she says it's ghost girl, it's a ghost. Yeah. Can we believe our fucking spouses? Unrelated to this film, but those are the two things. And he would not trust Indy.
He wouldn't trust Indy.
For damn.
Indy was like, whining, didn't want to go in, reluctant, trying to pull back. Just did not want to go in there. And he dragged him on in.
Yeah.
So here we are.
Enters the house in the dead of night, has no power. Right. Walks in, he did not close the front door. Also wrote it in my fucking notes.
Oh, ooh.
What are you doing?
Yeah.
How safe do we feel that we just do anything? He walked inside the house, didn't close the front door, had no power, went into the basement in a darkened, abandoned house that had not been inhabited for a very long time.
Yeah. And
flipped the switch. Playing around with switches. Meanwhile, Indy running around.
Yeah, getting spooked. Running around. I mean, I feel like a few little things happen there. He's hearing noises. Indy's hearing noises, and he's getting drawn to other rooms. And, that's rule number 1. You don't follow, disembodied noises. But Indy said, I'm gonna suss it out. I'm gonna investigate. I'm the protector. You don't do that. So yeah, Indy ends up in this other room completely with just listening to a sound or following a sound.
Yeah.
And it's not his owner. His owner's in the basement.
Yeah. Around the same time, we have this sister who does get a hold of him, and she starts to ask like, "Hey, what's going on? Like, how's Indy been acting? Has he been responding?" Right. And we have that type of conversation about the medical aspect of him being sick. And the juxtaposition shortly after, he's watching, because he has no entertainment in this rundown house. Right. So he has this old TV, and I'm guessing VHSs, and it's this old video about cavemen and their first pets, their first dogs that were domesticated by cavemen, and how they were used to alert them of threats and dangers. And the movie also quotes, "But the shadows may still be lurking in humanity," even though we got to that point.
That was a good point, yeah.
So it's like, okay, you're really giving us, every time you give us the medical aspect, you turn around and give us the haunted ghost aspect of it all.
Aspect of it all.
Yeah.
So, is it the next day when he's out? I was gonna say hunting, but he's not hunting. He's just in the woods.
Yeah, I think it wasn't just the woods. They have like a family plot. It was a grave.
Oh, that's true.
He went to go visit. Yeah, so the house belonged to their grandfather.
Correct.
Who was in the house with a dog, much like his own.
Yeah. And
went crazy, much like he seems to be.
Yeah.
And eventually, trigger warning, takes his own life. over time and how he devolved and what was going on. And it's very much known around the area that the house is haunted.
Yeah.
And cursed.
Yeah. The sister even says it a couple of times. Where
Yes.
Like, you want to move out to this haunted house? I mean, have you seen anything, anything scary and spooky? So, yeah, it is very much known. And also very much known is that the granddad, was discovered dead, but they never found his dog.
Never did.
Never did find his dog. So there's that. So they do there's a really good shot in the woods where I think Todd is going to go pee or something.
Yeah.
And Indy's just sitting and waiting, and you see like this shadowy specter behind him, glowing eyes coming.
Oh wait, no, I'm thinking of the one thing you're talking about, the outside. Yeah,
in the daylight.
Yeah.
And you see the shadowy specter behind him, and it's like, oh my goodness, this is terrible. This is scary, but it's really just a family friend dressed in hunting garbs.
Yeah, because he's out there hunting.
Yeah,
now,
full camo.
The thing that I was referring to was inside of the log, because Indy was looking inside of a downed log, and he saw those piercing, glowing eyes in there. Yeah,
that was scary.
Yeah,
that was scary.
The guy who's out there, of course, setting us up. You always got to keep your ears perked for. Be careful out there. Have fox traps.
Exactly.
So. I'm already braced and prepared for some foxtrot foolery to occur.
Absolutely.
And then, he goes down to the guy's house and was like, oh, I have no power. Do you have a generator? And maybe I'm wrong. The guy is like, I can lend you my generator. Here's the oil. Now, it takes a long time. You go down there, get it. By the time we get the generator back, it's nighttime. He was like, just be careful with it and don't keep it in the rain and everything. This heifer immediately takes it back up to the house, ranks that bitch on in the rain, and just leaves it.
And see, I remember him saying, you're going to want to hurry up and get back before it starts raining.
Oh.
That's the way I heard it. But,
I hope that's what happened. And that makes more sense. Because I was like, I know this heifer didn't just disrespect his property.
Immediately.
He already had an attitude. Sir, I'm doing you a favor. You came down here without calling the power company and making sure you had any electricity.
These fly-by-night decisions, honey.
You're manic, sir. And that could be a sickness. It could be the ghost in your head.
I don't know.
But we might find out.
Could be the ghost in the shell.
Okay? Now, as the movie starts to develop, we start getting some honestly really good scenes where the ghosts are ghosted.
The ghosts are ghosting and they are going through it.
They're working on Indy.
They're working on Indy, and I love the humanization of Indy.
Yeah.
Like, Indy is having dreams. Indy is actually doing everything a person would be doing or going through in a horror movie.
Except for speaking, child.
Exactly. A haunted horror movie, you have those, you move into a haunted house, you have bad dreams about the previous tenants. Yeah. You're hearing noises in the night. You're following and you're like, who's there? It was all those things, but it's a dog. And it's genius.
Yeah.
So Indy he has a dream about the previous dog, the grandpa's dog.
Yeah, the first one was very subtle, and it was like in the reflection of his eye. And we have this jump scare.
Yeah.
That it was pretty good.
Very effective.
And you honestly watching it, and it's movie magic.
It is.
Because Indy was a real dog.
Yeah.
He was not CGI.
That's
not
true.
An animatronic.
Neither one of them were CG. They were real dogs doing real dog things.
You couldn't watching it. You're going to see the gears turning in Indy's mind. You're going to see the fear in him that if he was acting for real. And when he broke down exactly how they filmed this, it's insane. And we'll talk about that at the end. But so much energy, so much life and fear in the eyes of this little dog. It was a lot, And
he has a very expressive face. That certain dogs like retrievers. I think what's another one? It's not a bulldog.
What, they have expressive faces?
Very expressive faces. Oh, they have the pensive brows.
Huskies have too.
Huskies, they have those. Yeah. They have the brows. They have the eyes. Yeah, it's very expressive faces.
Yeah,
and Indy is one of those.
Yeah,
going through the gigs.
Indy honestly is a very kind of sweetie baby, Very serious, very shy seeming dog,
Yeah.
but very loving to his owner.
Yeah.
Now, as we watch this story evolve, we see the owner's medical condition / haunting
Yeah.
start to take a toll on him physically, mentally, and wear on the relationship between him and Indy.
Absolutely.
That was very frustrating.
That was very sad. Oh. So, yeah, I know he ends up going to the doctor to like maybe a reassessment or like trying to see what we can do here.
Yeah.
And between the lines, you kind of figure out that he's trying to get involved in a trial treatment.
Yeah.
But whatever he has progressed too far.
And we find out that he had not been to the doctor in a long time.
That's true.
I think too, because we're following the dog, I can't tell you how long they were out there. Was it weeks? Was it a week? It had to be longer than a week because of like how bad the sickness had progressed. But as a dog, you really can't tell how much time is passing. For I understand, they don't have strong senses of time.
Right.
And that you feel that watching the film. You know, he gets up and leaves Indy home.
Yeah.
For sure it was just a day.
Yeah.
But it felt like an eternity, honestly.
And that was done masterfully.
Yeah.
Because they do say that dogs feel that way when you leave them.
Yeah. You feel the anxiety.
Exactly.
And he barked for hours.
Yeah.
And, you know, there was like a tapestry in there as well that kind of showed like a battle between either a dog and a wolf, or a dog and a bear or something. And I think, you know, that was definitely some foreshadowing on the shift that's going to have to happen in Indy to make him more defensive and like a protector and like in that aggressive state.
Yeah.
You know, he definitely was like in the self-preservation of like, danger is here and I need you to hear me.
Yeah.
And then it just wasn't clicking. And he eventually had to get into a state of fight mode.
Yeah, he did.
And I think that was some good foreshadowing for what was going to come.
Absolutely.
Now, to me, probably the first real like, oh shit moment is when Indy has the second vision where he's left at home.
Yeah.
He goes upstairs and he sees the other dog.
Right.
And he follows the other dog upstairs. And then he sees the dog in the corner. He looks underneath the nightstand. He sees the handkerchief that was around that dog's neck. Now, Indy is like cute. He's like, I'm gonna just crawl underneath this and go and get it.
Yeah.
Child, when he gets to the handkerchief, he has the worst fucking vision
He does.
of his life.
Oh.
The dripping blood, the owner being dead, the dog is dead. And it's like fragmented. Quick cuts. And Indy said, oh girl, I gotta back up out of here.
He said, woo!
And he tries to get from under there, and then a shadowy hand grabbed Indy by the throat and sluiced his ass in there against the wall.
Yeah.
That was devastation.
That was devastation.
I'm not one of those people who sees animals the same way as people see children, like how some people do.
Yeah.
In this film, though, damn.
Yeah.
It was a lot.
And yeah, I definitely did have a distinction between children and animals, but animals are close to me. They're very close because they and I understand why people put them on the same par or the same level because they're defenseless. They can't really communicate as well as well as you would want to really, you know.
Yeah.
And they depend on you.
Yeah.
So I understand the direct comparison 1-to-1, but I don't quite put them on the same level. But I do think I have a little more. They're closer to that level to me than they are to me.
Yeah. I feel like in a way I get it and I understand it, but I can't do it, so that's why I won't do it.
Yeah.
Because I wouldn't have an animal just defenseless and get hurt. People who abuse animals, you're a killer, sweetie.
Oh.
You gotta go to jail, babes. Ooh. One of the 3 precursors to being a serial killer. Okay? Pyromania, bedwetting, torture of animals.
Oh,
Pocket. So, yeah, people who harm animals, go to hell and go to jail. But I can't care as much anymore. So I just won't. But him being hurt, it was so crazy.
Yeah.
And then he would like wake up hours later.
Yeah.
And it was like, Indy baby, they're taking you
They're
too
taking you
fast.
through, like, because he's having the dreams and he's having the visions. And it's a lot. It's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. It was a horrible time, you know?
It was.
We have a haunting that's going on. I can't even remember exactly in the order that happens, right? But how do we... So he tries to run away first.
Yeah.
Right? He tries to get out. He tries to escape.
Yeah.
He tries to... The owner comes back. He's pissy as hell.
Right.
And
see, I feel like he's on something now. Like the owner.
Yeah.
I feel like he might be under the influence of something. Like like a drug or something.
Oh, you think?
I felt he was, because he just came back just like, or maybe he had went and got a treatment.
Probably.
Like something like chemo that just really just drained him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he probably was doing like a treatment or something.
Which could be both, you know.
Yeah.
The drug as well as pharmaceutical.
But he was so snarky to Indy.
Yeah.
And then Indy, I think this is when Indy bites him, right? He has like a horrible dream.
Mm-hmm.
And to Indy, he was trying to choke him out.
Yeah, the realities are blending between his dreams, the visions, and the stuff he's seeing around the house, and reality.
Yeah.
So it's just, and then his owner is not in the best spirit. So he's like, wait a minute now.
Yeah.
It's too much. It's
too much. And so he bites him, and then, you know, he puts him out.
Mm-hmm.
So Indy tries to like run.
Yeah. Yeah, because he's put outside.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's put outside on the on a chain. I'm trying to make an inside dog, outside dog.
Before he gets put on the chain.
Oh, okay.
Right? Indy runs.
Correct.
He tries to escape. He was like, Indy, stay here. Indy sees something, gets scared, runs, and then he gets caught in one of the fox traps.
Right, true.
That's when he gets brought back.
Yeah.
And now, they haven't shown you anyone's face at this point in the film, right? Film's almost over. You still have not seen anyone's face.
True.
He's pulling up. He turns on the generator. He's like putting the food in it. The lighting is so masterful in how they don't show his face. And it's so scary because it's like, you've now thrown around Indy, girl. And you're getting real short.
Yeah.
And you're giving haunted and possessed.
Haunted. Exactly. You're giving haunted, you're giving possessed. Like, what's going on here?
And you gotta calm down. So now he chains Indy up to this house and goes in. And then Indy's out there now, chained up to that damn doghouse.
Yeah.
And now we're in the final home stretch.
We're in the home stretch, and it's ultimate helplessness because, you know, there's scary stuff going on around here, and him just being chained and outside.
Yeah.
It's a double hit because you're inside dog. You're outside, and it's raining.
Yeah.
It's hell out there.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And this shadowy spirit starts trying to pull him through.
Listen,
he
pulling on that chain, flip that dog. Flip that doghouse. It was chaos. It was really chaos. Indy was working. Like I said, when I tell you that Indy was performing, jumping off into...
the first time he ran away, he jumped through a window.
He did.
He busted out a window.
Shout out to Sally Hardesky.
Jumped off the second story.
Correct.
Okay? Indy was like, I got to get out of here and I gotta get help.
I need some help.
And then when he gets back, the owner is pissy.
Yeah.
So then, so now he's trying to fight this damn ghost spirit, throwing him to and fro. He gets back inside. Essentially, he shows up, he's muddy. He's like, goes through like the horrible like basement part.
Yeah.
He's up there and the owner sees him, and now the owner's just like, oh my God, like I love you so much. Yeah. He's like had time to come down.
Exactly.
And he was like, I love you. Like, oh, it's so good to see you. Now, we see for the first time ever the face of Indy's owner.
Yeah.
And in that very moment, I knew he was dead. I knew he was dead because they went the entire film not showing the faces.
Yeah, you don't really see
and
it,
I said to myself, when we see his face, it's either going to be credits rolling or this bitch is dead.
Damn.
And they said the latter.
It's the latter. It's the latter.
And he was like, he was so sweet. And I think he was so sweet at that point because he wasn't in pain anymore.
He was at peace.
Because, he was going, well, for a brief moment, he had some peace.
Yeah.
Because then like he looks and he sees Indy, and Indy's just on the bed like, sister girl,
Yeah.
that's you over there. And he said, what?
Yeah.
And then finally now he's able to see the shadow that Indy has been carrying on about for the entire film.
That's so true.
Oof. Yeah. So actually I think this is when he gets pulled out of the room. Indy's locked in the room. I think this is when Indy jumps out.
Oh, okay.
Indy has the chain around his neck. So now Indy is trying to he gotta go down in the basement.
Yeah.
To come around.
To come back around.
And find.
When I tell you, work in the house. Like, I'm gonna get back to where I need to get to. Because I've got to protect my owner, Todd. It's too crazy in this house. It's crazy in this dancery.
Entirely too much.
Yeah.
And the spirit was coming for him, and it got him.
Spirit.
It took him.
It did.
He was in that little basement thing, and Indy was there, and he was trying to fight him, and Todd was getting pulled through, and he finally, was just like, hey, thank you so much, Indy. You a good boy. You did everything.
Yeah.
You did everything you could.
Damn.
But you can't come with me. You got to stay here.
Yeah.
And then he gets dragged through a hell mouth.
For lack of a better word.
After the shadow overtook his spirit.
Yeah, it did.
And took him in there, and he was gone. And then now, Indy is in the basement cellar, practically locked in.
Yeah.
He had to walk over the remains. We found Grandpa's dog.
Exactly. That's what happened to that dog, and it's been missing this whole time. The very same setup, it seems. Yeah. And he couldn't get out. He ended up dying down there.
Yeah.
Just the bones.
Yeah. And he told him, oh, you have to stay here.
Yeah.
And you want to assume that he means on Earth.
Right.
But it really felt like he meant like, you got to stay here in the house. And you going to die here.
See.
But I know his intentions was like, you got to stay on Earth. You can't
for
sure.
It's one of those things.
And it was loaded because, well, girl, I'm locked in the damn cellar with
Exactly. And I ain't got no thumbs.
I just walked over the first dead bitch who was up in here. Nobody found him.
How they gonna find me?
How?
Well, lucky for him, Vera does find him.
Yeah, his sister.
Yeah.
Had enough.
Which makes me think this might have just been a week. Because, she was, when he first moved in there, she was like, I'm going to come up. And I'm going to come up this weekend to see you.
But don't forget, they had a big blow up and they had a big fight.
That's true.
And he cussed her out. And he was like, bitch, stop jocking my style. Stay out of my information. I don't need you hovering over me.
Let me mind my cancer.
I'm not granddaddy. I'm not going crazy. There are no ghosts. Mind your business. You know how much I sit and wait for you to get off the phone every time you call me?
He did say
meaningful
that.
Nonsense.
Ooh.
He read that heifer her
down.
rights. And that was when I knew Todd was going to die.
And Vera said, well, excuse me?
Mm-hmm.
I thought you needed a stick to walk.
It could have been a week, but it could have been longer.
It could have been longer. Yeah, that's a good point. They did have a big blow up.
And what could have been longer was when he got home from the hospital. It made it seem like he got home from the hospital and then went out there to the cabin. He could have been out for a while and never went back to the doctor and then went to the cabin. So when he went to see the doctor, he was like, girl, I need help. Get me on this trial. And she was like, sister, we ain't seen you. If you had came in here when there was a chance, maybe.
But now it's 12th and never.
Yeah, she like, you are so far gone. And he was like, well, ain't a trial supposed to be for bitches who sick? She said, not that sick.
Not that damn sick.
So,
unfortunately. It's only funny because it's a movie and it's not real people. But yeah. Not that damn sick.
She was like, there's nothing we could do.
Nothing. And I would love for you to get out of my office.
I would need for you to get out. But
I have a 2:00.
Yes.
But yeah.
But, you know, he did have a redemptive moment in the end. And
he did. He did.
How he ended up treating Indy, which was good.
Yeah.
But it was sad. It
was a sad, and I mean, it was sad, and I'm happy that Indy got some kind of closure, it's not your fault. You've been good. You've been doing everything well.
Yeah.
Some reassurance, but then the ghastly visuals.
Yeah.
Of the owner being overtaken.
He may never be okay again.
Bless Indy.
And who do you talk to as a dog? That's probably the most exhausting thing for me is like, how do animals communicate? Like,
Exactly.
Will he in the future meet like another poodle and like, bitch,
You ain't
let me
gonna
tell you about
believe
the
this
woods. You would never.
Yeah.
You would never believe what I've been through.
And he said, I don't know if it was yesterday or 7 months ago.
Couldn't tell
but
you.
what I do know.
It was horrific and exhausting.
And after everything was said and done and the smoke cleared, my owner was gone.
Gone.
Do you see that girl over there? That's not my real owner.
That's his sister.
That's who I'm with now.
He trapped in the catacombs.
Ooh.
Tormented by a spirit or something.
Or sickness. I don't know.
But all in all, it was a successful film. She got Indy up out of there, drove away in the car.
Phenomenal.
You know, happily ever after.
Happily ever after.
Let's see. Let's talk a little bit about the behind the scenes making of the film.
Sure.
Before we get into like our final counts.
Absolutely.
Of everything.
So yeah, after the credits roll, you get a post-credit scene, but it's not what you think. It's behind the scenes, and the director is there, and he talks about like just making this movie. And you know, throughout the movie, I was thinking like, this dog is just so well trained.
The house
and acting. I wonder,
down.
Is there multiple dogs? How long it took to train this dog to be that great? And the director is like, well, it took nothing because he's actually not trained. He only knows a couple of commands.
He don't even know that he's being recorded
at all,
or that this is a movie.
None of it.
And when they showed some of the scenes that you see in the movie, the intensity,
yeah.
and then they showed how they did it, and they were just like dangling things to get his attention. They filmed this movie in 1 to 3 hour intervals a day for 3 years.
Yes. The definition of a labor of love.
It's just iconic.
The dedication. Amazing.
The
energy,
power of
editing.
The power of editing. Lighting.
Yeah, he's like, it's really nothing crazy happening in here.
Yeah.
But once we finish editing it, you know, they add the blue tones that make it cold.
Yeah.
You know, Indy's just living his life having a ball. In reality, you are being terrorized. Or cinematically, you're being terrorized.
There was nothing scary in the room with him.
Nothing scary.
The real dog in there was like a stand-in, and then they would have the real dog in there for different scenes.
Yeah.
So that he wouldn't be distracted.
They would cut and edit it together.
Movie magic. This movie is a definition
also
of movie magic.
Also a definition. Absolutely.
All in all, I think it was a very successful film. I think, because this doesn't fall into any one of the 4 categories by itself, I will say that I think that it didn't go as far in a horrific sense, right?
Okay.
It's more about the psychological thriller and the story and really the humanity of this little dog and the concept of my dog is seeing something that I can't see.
Absolutely.
And that really carries the weight of the film. This isn't a film that like the CGI is a lot, and when it's there, it's not like groundbreaking stuff. And it also can't rest on the laurels of like a comedy. It's not a parody of sorts. It's an honest to God, straight attempt at a horror film through the vantage point of this dog. And they didn't cut corners and try to soften it in this direction. They didn't try and split focus. And that could hurt it a little. But I definitely think it helped it. And then especially when you see the work that was put into it, I understand it. Absolutely. And I think all in all, it was a very successful film.
I agree. I definitely think it was a successful. They knocked it out of the park for me. It is a slow burn. I had some friends tell me that, you know, that was not their cup of tea because it was a slow burn. I love a slow burn as long as the payoff makes sense, and this one did that. The payoff was great. And it was a sometimes your slow burns kind of peter out, but this was a slow burn with a gradual uptick. It kept upping the ante. It kept going skyward. So we can definitely get behind that. I mean, and I love the people who made this. They really believed in this. It's very visible. And they really love movies, films. They love the craft. And they're an artist. And that I can always support.
100%. Yeah.
Very much that.
Yeah. So our 4 categories. First up, acting and dialogue. Now, this was a little difficult for me.
Yeah.
Because I had to do it not based off of the amount that it was, because there wasn't a whole lot.
Yeah.
But the effectiveness in how they portrayed it and what they did. With all that being said, I had to give it an 8. I couldn't give it a 10 just because it wasn't much. It was about the dog. But was it successful in the conversations that were being had off camera? The volume and the pitches, which will come into sound design a little bit, in like how muffled some of those conversations were. It was very much like that other horror film, A Violent Nature, is that what it's called?
Yeah,
that was of a violent nature that's taking place from the perspective of the killer, the monster baddie, and off camera you hear the potential victim, the people out there on this like campground, having, telling the horror tales about what happened years ago,
and having their own conversations, their own conversations, and their own plots.
That one had some comedy and humor to it that I do think this could have benefited from, but I can't say that it was a loss because it didn't have anything funny in the film, and it wasn't as scary, but the dialogue was pretty good. The stuff that came up on the text messages was really good, and I think no words were wasted.
Correct.
There's sometimes you watch movies and like, why are you saying that? Who was that for? I can't remember what it was, either earlier this year or late last year. We were watching something and I was like, who was that line for? What was this about? I can't remember what it was, but it upset me so much. And this film doesn't do that. I think it used everything correctly. And the limited use of dialogue made everything that was said more important, even the rating stuff. Which was good. The stuff that was used in the movie. And the VHS tapes
for sure,
help elevate this as well.
I agree. I mean, what can you say? So I think everything was done to a T. The dialogue was phenomenal because we got the story. Like, I think nothing was wasted, and everything was done meticulously, strategically. And there you see the whole story, and it's amazing to be able to capture a whole story, a whole line of events with little to no dialogue.
Correct.
They gave us enough to be able to put this together, and that's all we really needed because again, it's an experimental POV from that of a dog. So the acting, dialogue, and editing, I put all that together because they edited to make Indy act.
Yeah, correct.
I gave that a 10.
Okay.
Absolutely.
I can't disagree with that. That for sure. I can't argue with that at all. What did you give it for sound design?
Sound design, very good as well. The voices come into play with that. The dialogue with the people, but also the little sounds around the house. Just everything that we needed to do to get our scares going. A lot of that is sound. And how loud the generator was, the sound of the rain. It was very good. Gave that a 10 as well.
Okay, for sure. I gave it a 9. I think the one thing that I ding the point for really is because I can't think of, music is very important to me, especially in film. I don't recall any type of musical moment.
I don't think they really had like a score or anything, and I feel like that might have been done purposefully.
I feel like it was because in real life,
to ground you
you're not
in real
just,
life.
I feel like that's what it was, and that's a personal preference thing. But everything else, like you said, was really good. The volume that the dialogue was happening in different stages was important because it's like, what's going on there? Wait, focus on Indy, because what is he seeing? And you're trying to do two things at once. You can look and listen at the same time, but can you focus on an image that's a shrouded shadow through a rainy rearview window while listening to a phone conversation that's happening outside of the car by the owner at the same time? And make out both things equally clear, and that's a real scenario
That is a real thing,
and a
and
real
I mean,
experience.
you can look and listen at the same time, but normally what we're listening to is linked to what we're looking to.
Exactly.
So you're listening for a conversation that's not linked to anything that we're seeing.
Correct.
And then we're also, in most cases, trying to visualize what's being said.
Correct.
So yeah, it creates a nice cacophony of things to do, and it does a good job of creating that feeling that Indy is feeling.
Yes.
It's kind of chaotic.
Yeah, and because of that, I think the film could be a film that you watch at least twice. One, really to look with everything.
Yeah.
And then one, to really try and listen.
Yeah.
To everything that's going on. All of this stuff, because there was multiple stuff that came on the TV that was talking about the dogs.
Right.
One really stood out to me, but really listening to every conversation, looking for every text message, trying to see everything, and doing that in two separate watch throughs could be a rewarding experience to really get the most from the film. But I did give it a 9 because I like a good song.
Yeah, I do as well. Now we're into cinematography. They had some really great shots, some really good wide shots of the house, of stuff going on around, of Indy, around things around Indy, just being able to have this shadowy figure in and out of focus. Also did a great job with that. And a great job with, again, I guess the editing comes into play with like creating this, this mood, this ambiance. Because again, behind the scenes, you see that it's just a brightly lit, everyday living room.
Yeah.
Everyday house. Because Indy's, he's probably not going to respond well if it's trying to actually run through the dark.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I feel like they did a great job with that cinematography-wise, creating it, making it look like it's not just a filter. It really is dark here. It really is cold here. All that type of thing. All that to say, I gave it a 9.
I gave it an 8. I had originally given it like a 7. And I did bump it up to an 8 because of those things that you mentioned. I'll start off with the few negatives. Well, the one main negative was the CGI isn't the best, right? It's not crazy. It's not out there. And I do think that if you're going to have it, then I gotta count it.
Yeah.
Could it have been something else that wasn't CGI? Could they have done the shadow in a different way?
That's
Could it have
true.
been like a person or an entity, or did something that wasn't the shadow?
Yeah.
Maybe. And we don't know.
That's
but
true.
the shadow made sense for the story, so I see why the shadow had to be in there. But was it like top tier? Maybe not. With that being said, the cinematography and how they did the lighting and everything, the artistic shots, just looking at Indy's face, the scenes where they had the visions and him seeing the shadows on the monsters reflected within his eyes, the optical illusion of what we
That's
now
a
know
really
was
good point,
the fox inside of that foxhole.
Exactly.
The elements of not showing anyone's face, doing everything from like the waist up, and like when they did show the full body, realistic scenarios where you wouldn't see Todd's face or even the guy's face because he was in the hunting outfit,
Right.
When Indy jumped through that glass window, that was pretty good CGI.
That was good CGI.
Yeah.
Of course, you're not gonna have your dog jump through a real glass window, even if it's plate glass.
Yeah.
You're not gonna do that. But
When they loosed him up and choked him and threw him through that damn wall, that was working Indy, and there was some good moments. But just for that one thing, I did give it an 8. But all in all, I think it was a beautiful movie.
Absolutely.
And I think it was visually stunning.
Yeah, you have some good points. They do have some really good shots, like reflecting shots in Indy's eyes and things of that nature. So yeah, that is really good. I'm happy with my 9. So for story, the big points are coming from the POV of the story.
Yeah.
Because the story at its base isn't really revolutionary. Because how many haunted house stories?
Right.
How many haunted house movies are there? It's more so in the way the story is delivered. And that gets big points with me.
Yeah.
Originality in that way. And originality, back to that cinematography, imagine how much unorthodox or non-traditional things they had to do to make sure those faces weren't seen. To make sure you're down. I feel like you're doing a lot of stuff that's not really of the norm on movie filming. But yeah, the story, The only reason it's a 9, I gave it a 9.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, it lost a point just because of the story itself is on paper very not generic but very common.
Mm-hmm.
Haunted house story. Mm-hmm. We went to a house, there's spookery around, all that's happening. But they got huge points with me for the delivery, the execution, and just the thought-provoking nature of it. Is it sickness? Is it a real haunting? Kind of leaving those questions open. So
Yeah.
I like that.
I actually gave it a 10. I reserved my 10 for the story. And I say that because, we recently watched another film that, told us, give us some, subtext, more context, some backstory on, something that was happening. But there was no visual elements to it when we were watching him. And we were talking about, how they talked about football, Native people in America,
exactly.
how they've impacted the sports, and there was no visual elements.
I wish there would have been more into that.
But this film used the VHS in that house to do that, to push that story, right?
Yeah.
We had the home film of him and the granddad to really explain, And while yes, a haunting and everything has been done, it's never been done from the vantage point of the dog, and that drastically makes the story completely different.
That's true.
If they refilm this entire thing from his vantage point, how much would Indy show up? How much would we see of Indy? We would see Todd out there running around, going to the doctors, that type of stuff, fighting with his sister. We would see so much more. Him pulling up to the house, him sitting down from his vantage point when he passes out and he has a nosebleed. Yeah. The story itself would just be different because the main character would be different. Correct. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And it would be a true horror in the sense that he died.
Yeah.
And that would be the end of the film. You want to see what the hell happened to Indy once he's dead? Girl, you gone. So I give it a 10 for its uniqueness. For sure. It did not give me comedy, which I enjoy, and I think it's important with horror sometimes. Yeah. Sometimes it's too much and it gets very crass and stupid.
Correct.
But I think it could be done in a very good way.
It can be done in a really good way. You have to find a good balance, and it has to make sense.
Especially when it's not particularly supposed to be funny. Weapons was freaking hilarious.
Yeah. We had some funny moments there.
Did we review Weapons?
We didn't review Weapons. This was that was before we started doing this.
Yeah. We might
have to go back and do a revisit.
Wow. Yeah. Weapons is so funny, but ain't shit funny about it. And it's really aggressive. Yeah. Of a violent nature, I found very funny, but it was intended to be funny.
Correct.
And it borders the line of one of the funniest moments is towards the end. And again, it's not supposed to be funny. There's parts in there that is very hilarious and humorous.
Right.
And then you have comedies like The Blackening.
Yeah.
That's a horror comedy meant to be funny. One of the funniest films to ever exist in the history of media.
Yeah.
I will not be debated on this. So you just have to do it tastefully.
Absolutely.
You gotta have professionals back there doing it.
Yeah.
And that's stuff that I enjoyed. But even though this film didn't give me that, and they were like, no, watch this dog be tormented.
Exactly. This is a very serious affair. There's no time for fun.
And I'm like, oh, y'all not going to give me no chuckle?
No.
Probably when he jumped through the window was the one time I laughed because it was just too much. Yeah. It was so absurd and it was crazy. And Indy said, I got to get out of here.
Exactly. It's the desperation of it
jumping out the second story.
Exactly.
Falling in the bushes.
Wow.
He had to go.
It's really, the shock of it was just I can't believe this just happened.
Yeah.
So you can't help but to laugh this is crazy.
Yeah.
But in the best way.
Yeah. All in all, successful film.
Absolutely. Overall, my score is a 9.5.
For sure.
Yeah.
I got an 8.75.
Okay.
And I feel really good about that. I think it's true. I think that they did something in the long 3 years. You could have died. Your dog could have died. You could have lost funding.
Oh, that's true. In the real world, I'm like, 3 years? This movie wasn't that long.
No,
they making it.
They made it in 3 years.
3 years
from
is
2021
wild.
to 2024, released in 2025.
Yeah, that's the dedication. And I mean, I hope he gets, all the accolades, all the love,
Yeah.
all the appreciation, because that is such a feat to pull off. Especially to pull that off, and that's not a focus of your film. That's something that I don't like when movies take that long to make, like years.
Yeah.
There's a movie called Boyhood. I'm sorry, Boyhood, but I did not get the hype. I did not care enough about it.
Yeah.
But it's a movie, I think it took like 11 years, maybe 15 years. And that is a point of the movie. That 15 years has passed.
Right.
Yeah, for y'all to do a movie that took 3 years to make and it not show.
Right. It was taking place in the span of maybe 2 weeks.
Yeah.
A month at best.
Exactly.
From the first sickening to the end.
Yeah.
And like the main story took place in the span of a week or two max.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Indy, you look good. You look young, girl.
Yeah, you do look young. You look good.
Keep on working.
Go on and keep on working. You did all that.
I'm very excited to see the impact on the horror genre and what this could mean. What else could we see? How many more unique stories we can get? Other vantage points are people going to give? Maybe we can get one with a baby.
Maybe
what that would be like.
I mean, yeah, there's a book called Incidents Around the House, and it's from the point of view of a child, but it's a horror movie, of a horror story.
Yeah.
And they let you know up front, this is from the point of view of a child, so some things don't make sense.
Yeah.
Some of the dialogue is kind of crazy. Some of the visuals that the book paints are very much that, because it's from the point of view of a child.
Yeah.
So if they made that into a movie, I'd rather they not. But yeah, I'd be interested to see what the future brings.
If they did and they committed, and there wasn't red tape or politics in what they were able to do, and they could make a 1-to-1 or close enough of the elements that made the book successful, I think you would be interested to watch it. But
I mean, I would watch it regardless, but it doesn't mean I have to be happy about it.
But I'm excited to see how this shapes horror.
Absolutely.
I think they did a very good job. And I suggest that you go and watch it.
Absolutely. Definitely go
find it on streaming. It should be on streaming soon, I hope.
It should be, hopefully. It is an indie movie, so we have to, I don't know what kind of hurdles and red tape they have to work through.
Correct.
But, hopefully it'll be on streaming soon for someone. I mean, or at least for renting, at the very least.
Yeah. But yeah, so thank you guys so much, of course, for joining us for another episode of the Redley and Dally podcast.
Yes.
If you have not yet, please make sure that you like, comment, subscribe. Let us know of any films that you would like for us to review.
Yes.
Or any topics that you want to see. Any type of genres you want us to delve into some more. We're wrapping up the end of October.
We are.
And we're edging into, as we get closer to fall, we're going to get closer to some more holiday films.
Oh, yeah.
We still have a couple of horror films that for sure are going to come out.
Mm-hmm.
I think like 1 or 2 after this.
Very true.
But get ready for some other speeds. I know a lot of you don't like horror as much.
That's true.
I hope this has been a safe haven.
Exactly. I hope we're guiding you through gently. We're here to hold your hand. Mm-hmm. But we also do watch a lot of other stuff outside of horror. Yes. We do want to bring that here for our audience.
Yes. So make sure you check us out on all areas where podcasts are found.
Yes.
And check us out on Reddit. We're about to release one of our first Reddit reads.
That is true.
Where we're reading some crazy stories.
Absolutely.
Real stories from real people posting online, looking for help, looking for advice. And that's going to be coming very soon.
Absolutely.
Love you.
Bye.